Picture this, you are in Dover for the Remembrance Sunday service, remembering our fallen heroes who gave their lives to protect this great country. And then you look across to the harbour and you see this. Border Force aiding an invasion of this country. Border Force providing a taxi service to a load of random men, many of which will be from backwards cultures, some of which may be criminals. They're helping them invade this country. What a slap in the face that is to our veterans, especially given that we know that all of those people who have been ferried in by Border Force this morning will be given a roof over their head, a hotel most likely to live in, 3 meals a day sorted, 50 quid a week on an Aspen card, days out, you name it, they've got it. But our veterans who have defended this country remain on the streets. Keir Starmer promised at the Labour Party conference last year that he will house all of the veterans. Any progress on that? Well, I haven't heard anything from him, and day after day I see charities on the street begging people to donate to help them provide meals and shelter for the many homeless veterans in this country. GB News have revealed today that at least 300 people have been brought into Dover by Border Force this morning after crossing the English Channel, and over 2,000 people have arrived since Thursday. Keir Starmer this morning laid a wreath for Remembrance Sunday. Let's take a look.
As Michael said earlier, a change of scene is announced by the playing of Funeral March number 1.
So there he is, Keir Starmer, laying his poppy wreath. And look, I know that Remembrance Sunday isn't really supposed to be political. You know, we have all of the political leaders there. Nigel Farage is not there because he's at an event in his own constituency, a remembrance event, which he had to foot the bill to ensure, by the way, after it got cancelled last year for insurance reasons. But this is meant to be normally a non-political day, right? You can disagree with the Prime Minister on taxes going up or whatever, and it doesn't really have much to do with Remembrance Sunday. But I'm sorry, but it sickens me to see Keir Starmer doing his moral posturing, laying his wreath there, when I don't think he really means it. Because if he really, really cared about the people who have fought for this country, he would be housing them. He would be making it a top priority that if you serve this country, you are looked after. But no, he houses every single one of these migrants that come across the channel. It's now over 39,000. We're getting close to 40,000 who have arrived this year. He'll house all of them. He'll feed all of them. And he's a human rights lawyer. He thinks it's their human right that they need to be fed, housed, given all of these treats. But if you are a veteran who risked your life for this country, who now has PTSD, who is now on the streets, he couldn't give less of a shit about your human rights. Excuse my French, but it is, for me in politics, this is the thing that probably sickens me the most about our politicians, is how they will prioritise some random bloke that came on a boat over the people that cared about this country so much that they were willing to risk their lives and go to war for it. I'm sorry, but something is deeply wrong about that. Let's take a look at some of the details in this GB News exclusive. Armed Forces veterans have condemned the arrival of hundreds of Channel migrants on the country's sacred day of remembrance for the 4th day straight. Border Force responded to multiple small boat arrivals into UK waters. More than 2,000 have arrived since Thursday, GB News can reveal. This morning, Border Force vessels arrived into Dover Harbour with around 150 migrants, just as dozens of veterans and many locals were gathering for a march to the War Memorial in Dover Town Centre. At 11 a.m, just as the nation fell silent, the Border Force vessels Defender and Ranger were heading back to Kent with the occupants of 2 other migrant boats that crossed into UK water. It's just unbelievable. I mean, just the optics of that being in Dover at a remembrance service, and then in the harbour right next to you, you've got border force paid for our government, by our government, aiding an invasion of our country. Not defending our country's borders, but allowing them to be completely open. You can't make it up. It's sickening. It really is sickening. At the same time, the border force vessel Hurricane was heading for a rendezvous with the French patrol ship Mink as it escorted another migrant boat towards the separation zone between UK and French waters. The illegal arrival of hundreds of migrants across the English Channel on Remembrance Sunday is particularly sensitive, of course, and these are the figures. So they've put the provisional figure around 300 so far today on Remembrance Sunday, and that is, as I said, more than 2,000 since Thursday. That is a shocking number. As I said, over 39,000 have come across the channel this year, and only 36,000 or so made the crossing last year. So we're breaking records. Well, breaking records compared to last year. If we surpass 45,000 by the end of the year, it will be a new record, which will be extremely embarrassing for this government. And I will take you back to that video from Good Morning Britain that we all saw yesterday over the past couple of days, of this veteran who is so appalled by the state of this country, and presumably by the fact that this government will not house veterans but will give top priority to illegal migrants. He was breaking down on the verge of tears, saying the sacrifice was not worth it in the war.
What does Remembrance Sunday mean for you? What is your message?
My message is, I can see in my mind's eye those rows and rows of white stones of all the hundreds of my friends and everybody else that gave their lives for what? The country of today. No, I'm sorry. The sacrifice wasn't worth the result that it is now.
It breaks my heart. That clip, it breaks my heart. I was saying on Twitter earlier, and I'll reiterate now, whenever, of course, what I do here, this commentary and working in politics, one of the reasons I do this is because I really, really want to get this country back on track. I care about this country. Maybe one day I want to have kids and a family, and I want them to grow up in a great country. If I ever have a day where I doubt what I'm doing, and I think, you know what, I'm not sure we can save this country, maybe we should just give up and accept fate, I'll look back at that clip and I'll remember that guy and I'll think, no, sorry, I've got to do it for this guy. I cannot have veterans thinking that the sacrifice that them and their friends made for this country wasn't worth it because we've ruined it. We've ruined the freedoms that they fought for. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't have it. We have got to get this country back on track. And on that note, thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the subscribe button down below if you haven't already, so you don't miss out on our future videos. See you next time.